Good morning, guys, and thanks for coming along. My name is Paul Key, and this is Striperquest, Saturday mornings outdoors on the Cape Cod Canal. And we got a rainy day here, and it's not a little rain, it's coming down fairly steady. So I'm on my little hidey hole here, and let's see if we can have some fun. Stay tuned, and we see a lot of bird action right here, diving ducks, and we'll see what this day brings. Welcome. I kind of like the rainy weather on the canal or fishing at any time for a few reasons. It's absolutely keeps the boat traffic down, keeps the fishermen down, and you're fishing on a barometric pressure drop, which is all great for striped bass fishing. So we're working on the east tide this morning, and we're just coming off a full moon. Barometric pressure is of course dropping. This is a big storm. I think it's 2 or 3 day storm. It's not that powerful, but barometric pressure is 29.97 and still falling. So the front hasn't actually passed yet, which is good for fishing. And the wind is out of the northwest at 8 to 15, probably gusts more than that. And when that happens, especially with the driving rain, I get in this little hidey hole, and it's really, you can not feel the wind at all. It's really great. You just use a little strategy, that's all. Use the trees to block the wind, and you'll be fine. But it's Mac chunks on the bottom, and Van Stahl and Penn reels, spinning and conventional, and we're trying our luck this morning, see what kind of if we can have a little bit of fun. And we got birds working out right directly in front here. It's coming down pretty good, actually. The sideways rain and a good stiff wind. You don't have to be afraid of, it's very comfortable when you get the right gear. Just get your foul weather gear, and you're bulletproof, waterproof. You don't have to be afraid of the boogeyman. It's like the John Wick movies. They call him the Russian mobsters. He's the best hitman in the world in the movies. And the Russian mobsters, they call Trump John Wick, because in the movie the Russian mobsters call him the Baba Goya. I think that's how they say it. That means the boogeyman. So one of the big hitmen, say to the high boss when they saw John Wick walking by, they said, "That's the Baba Goya." And the big boss says, "No, that's not the boogeyman. That's who you call when you want to get rid of the boogeyman." And that's Donald Trump. Quit shooting at the guy, you cowards. Trump 24. Sorry to get political, but this is getting out of control. Well, it stopped raining heavily, so it takes some of this gear off. It's functional, but it's heavy, It gets warm. By the way, I didn't mention the temperature. It's in the 60s. And like I said, wind out of the northwest is pretty stiff. This week I'd like to talk about snelled hooks. I showed before back at the Rat Cave how to snell a hook. And I use these 10-aughts in my forays out here. Let me just kind of hold the camera and show you this here. But what I want to show you, that is your snell. I don't think there's any stronger knot to attach a hook to your leader, and then this leader goes to the swivel. And I use 50-pound test on this. So 10-aught hook, 50-pound test. But what I wanted to say is there's subtle things. Some guys, when they finish the knot, they have the running line that goes back out to the swivel come out the front. So when you're using the circle hooks, that kind of doesn't make sense, because the torque is going to be, when the fish swims away, you're not setting the hook, but when the fish swims away, if the line was coming out that way from the front, you're putting pressure, it's going to turn the hook this way and possibly pull it out. That's my logic on it. So I always run the line coming out back, so it's turning into the meat of the mouth of the fish, if you can follow what I'm saying. I think the logical way to do it is to always have it coming out the back like that. But snell knots, really probably the most strongest knot to attach your hook to your leader. And honest, I've been using this for so long, and I've never had it fail one time, not one time. Fish on. All right, away we go. All right, there we go. Good looking striper, pajama fish, right? And yet another sub-slot, but still powerful fish, man. Good strong fighting fish. It's unbelievable this year. Last year I was catching all kinds of big fish. I think my biggest was about a 38 pounder. And not consistently big, but they're all pretty good size, but not one slot. This year it's exactly the opposite. I think I released probably at least 7 or 8 slots, and everything else probably below that. And nothing really big. I think my biggest fish was 34, 35. So what a strange, it's just consistency-wise, size-wise, it's exactly opposites this year and that year. But the front has proven successful. And there's not a soul. I've seen like maybe 2 yachts come through. No fishermen, but it's actually stopped now. Whoop, there's a touch there. It's actually kind of stopped now. It's just balmy now. I'm sure it's going to start up again. I looked on the weather radar and it's a pretty big front, but we are on the boards. Oh boy, the worst news ever. Look at it. There's a big seal right here. He's coming up. You see him? Yeah. Well, it's not the end of the world. I mean, if he keeps rolling, but yeah, see, here he is right here. Son of a gun. Rolling along. Oh, he's a big one, too. Go away. He's going to come up right in front here. Hope he doesn't find my bait. Son of a gun. Usually they hyperventilate. They'll come up and you can hear them going and then they go down and they stay down for 5 or 10 minutes. But what do we got going there? There's something floating down there. Anyway, that's not good news. I hope he just keeps moving on. You really meet some fine folks down here. I'd like to give a shout out to my friend Dave from Tennessee. He just stopped by and we had a really cool chat about the fishing and the canal and everything, and he's camping up from Tennessee and he stopped by to say hi. And Dave, I hope you caught many fish today. It's a good time to be fishing through this frontier, and nice to see you, sir, and glad to see you having a little fun. You got the idea, right? Well, I'll give you the worst joke I know about rain. I'm sorry, but I have to do this. Knock knock, who's there? Dwayne. Dwayne who? Dwayne the tub, I'm drowning. Sorry, man. I don't know what I was thinking. It's very peaceful here today. I mean, very few boats. It's great. And as you see, when you see the seals, when Dave was here, we just saw a pelican, which is kind of rare for around here. Not a crane, but a pelican. There's tons of bait fish in here. I've heard reports of bluefish. I'm kind of hoping for a blue. That'd be kind of fun. Haven't caught one all year. I caught a nice slammer, a couple slammers last year, but only other species this year is blackfish, and but kind of hoping for blues. But good looking day to be at the canal. So that's a bizarre thing. I just had a slamming hit on this, but it was that 1 second thing, really powerful down, but then it just popped up, and I'm dreaming in my mind, take it, come on, take it. Oh, see, there it goes again. And it wasn't slamming though, but then this one did it. So I'm thinking there's a school, I don't know what it is. I don't know, either they're hitting the line, but it's really quick. It's like that, you know. They're not. The circle isn't connecting. The fish are here. Kind of strange, but that 40-foot yacht, sailboat, and you're supposed to stay to the right. They're totally on the left. I don't know what's up with that. And that's not an optical illusion. He's fully to the left. That's so bizarre. I don't know what the logic of that is, but that's an expensive boat to be playing games. I get it. There's hardly anyone on the canal. It's, you know, it's all snotty and everything, but that, I don't know. I never saw that. You know, with all these swings and misses, because of the circles, I think that, you know, J-hooks ain't coming back. I don't think they are, because they've got us already brainwashed into, you know, ecology and the stocks and all this stuff like that. And it might be true and it might not be true. But if these were J-hooks using, you'd probably land 9 out of 10 fish, but you'd probably kill 4 out of 10 fish. But so I don't know. It's just thinking about, you know, the old days with the J-hooks and just accepting. I don't think they're coming back. You know, what do you think? You know, I don't think they are. So, you know, because they're telling us it's better for the stock and all this stuff. But a J-hook, especially an offset J-hook, those are probably the killerest hooks there is, you know, for stripers. Every now and then this tune just keeps staying in my mind. It's I'm obviously very much in this a nautical based show and fishing and the ocean, and there's a lot of oceanic lore and everything. So in Sharon, Massachusetts, and now I think they're in New Bedford, but they have a whaling museum. It's called the Kendall Whaling Museum. Everything to do with whaling back in the 1700s, and really authentic cool stuff, scrimshaw and all that. And but anyway, the workmen on the sailing ships, was how everything was run back then, all shipping in the worldwide. That was cutting edge, the sailing ships, and they were in every harbor all over the world, and that's how stuff got everywhere. The working men as the sailors would have to haul those sails up on a capstan. It's a round thing. They have posts on it, and you have to walk around it. It's physical labor, and that's one way to do it, but there's many ways to raise the sails. So what I want to say is they would sing songs to ease away the hours, and they're called sea chanties. And slaves back in the cotton days would sing songs in the field called field haulers to make the work go by easier. So one of the sea chanties that they sold a whole bunch of recordings, and they're very addictive if you like the ocean. And it's a bunch of men singing it exactly how they would have sung it in the 1700s. But the words are hilarious, and they're double entendre, they're double meaning. And so check this. It's a short one, but I'm not going to sing it, but check the words out. Remember, you're on a sailing ship and you're raising sails to this. So it's, they call me Hangin' Johnny, away, away. They say I hang for money, then hang, boys, hang. First I hung me mother, away, away. Then I hung me brother. Well, hang, boy, hang. We'll all hang together, away, away. We'll hang for better weather. So you're thinking, how awful, how ghastly. He hangs his mother, he hangs his brother. It's not at all. It's in ship talk. The main sail is called the mother, and the smaller sails is called the brother. So they're just talking about raising the sails, right? And then it says, because they sound so dastardly, we'll all hang together. It means we'll all pull together, we'll all work together. And they're so clever, and they're so cool, and they're very addictive. When you hear 8 guys singing it the right way, and they have the beat of the capstan, it's like a chunk, 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 the thing that they're turning to raise the sail. And I don't know, I found it extremely captivating and very interesting, and if you have any interest in it, check it out. They're called sea chanties, and I'm sure you'll hear examples of them online, but they all have that kind of wording to them. They're really funny. Some of the stuff's pretty blue, like about women, and she makes her topsails quiver. I mean, they're so clever. They're as clever as bluesmen are with their words, the double meanings, you know. So anyway, sea chanties. I thought you might find that. By the way, that particular one's called Hangin' Johnny. That's the name of that sea chanty. All right, so I think I think I'm gonna pack it up. I'm getting 2 more pieces of bait left, and been here through most of this tide, and ever since Sammy the seal showed up. I'm not making excuses, but I did get one, and I feel very much recharged, and it's very nice, very comfortable. I think I saw 2 boats in 5 hours, two vessels in 5 hours. It's kind of neat. It's like you got the whole place to yourself, basically, because people aren't crazy enough to come out in it, except fishermen. So, the promise of big fish does strange things to mankind. But so that will be this segment of the Striperquest, and we'll see you folks at Spotchecks. See you shortly. Alright, welcome to this week's Spot Check, and just something to notice. See there, that's a crab shell, and as I walk along, there's crab shells. And you might be thinking, what in the world are those things doing up here? And I'm seeing them all along through here. So at the low tide stage, of course, the cormorants and the seagulls are pulling the crabs, and especially this is stormy right here. It's a big storm and currents cranking, so they're pulling at low tide the crabs, which are disorientated and from the high moon currents up on the shore, and they're eating them. And here's another one. See, they just keep coming. Here, there's a clam. No, that's a part of a shell, a part of a claw. Another one. But so bear in mind, that's bait. I mean, not bait to use. You could use it, but there's crabs there and there's life there, which means there's going to be fish feeding on that. So always keeping your eyes open. Just like on a stream, you're looking for hatches when you're trout fishing and stuff, and let nature's telling you where the food is or where the food has been and where the good fishing spots are. There's a reason them cormorants and birds are here. Look at the family takes a right. Look at them all. Big magnets. Alright then, we are at the first spot check of this week. Remember, you're getting the maps from one of the local tackle shops, Red Top or Canal Bait and Tackle. On the maps shows the 7-mile long canal, and along the canal are these poles, and each pole there's a marker, like that says 85, the next one down is 80, but there's 5 poles in between. It's for navigational purposes. For our fishing use, the holes on the map are named, and I'm showing you them in person along the canal here, and what to expect, and what I know of how to fish each one, and so forth. And so that's how this spot check has been going all summer long, and that's what I'm trying to do for you guys. So this is pole 85. This is called sandbar. And why do you think it's called sandbar? Because there's a sandbar at low, and you can get way out there. And fish push at this stage of the tide, which is getting up pretty high. They're pushing bait up against both sides of that sandbar at times. So this spot is called sandbar, and that's pole 85. Also, kind of a noteworthy thing right here is, I believe this absolutely right in this area is the area that Ron Ara, the world distance casting champion, was speaking of, where the canal is about 700 feet wide. This is the widest area of the canal right here, and this is where he literally cast from this side and landed it on the other side. Can you imagine? You know, but mere mortals would be grateful to God to get 3/4 of the way across. But that's why he am the champ. But this is the first spot check, pole 85. So over here is, right there is the Sandwich Fish Pier, open to the public. That's actually a state park. You probably have to pay to park there unless you have the pass. And you buy a lifelong pass, especially if you're a senior citizen. If you're over, I don't know, 55 or 60 or something, you buy this pass for light money and go to any state park in the state for free, all day, all year, for the rest of your life. But anyway, it's a sneak preview. That's on the mainland side. Oh, by the way, I'm on the Cape Cod side. This whole summer, all these spots are on the Cape Cod side of the canal. That's the mainland side, but that's a very popular fishing spot. Nice fish pier built specifically for fishing. That's a preview of next year. I'll cover all that next year. Alright, so spot check number 2. This is pole 70. What we're really after is that next pole, 71. It's in between here. This is called Bianco's. Extremely popular spot. It's named after an old restaurant that was off of Sandwich Road, but if you notice, we've been coming down here, it's a dead straightaway, but now it's going to open up into a large basin, and there's turns again. Back that way there was turns. Anyway, you see these turns and points, they're extremely fishy areas. So this happens to be one of them. You're coming into the turn up here near the power plant, and it's called Bianco's, and it's probably in every fishing report every week locally, all the time. So another key way to find out is you're right across from the public fishing pier on the mainland side. So pole 71, and it's Bianco's. So we're coming from our super long stretch, but see, point, see how it goes in? All up in there, that basin, right over there, point. Anywhere you see those points, the fish are going to be absolutely trapping and staging for the surf fishing. So this is the infamous power plant on the Cape Cod. And here, there's 3 of them. There's 2 other tanks in back of that. Those are called the holding tanks, all right? And then the holding tanks are about 63 is the holding tanks, pole 63. And as you can see, point, cove, and this is pole 60. The next pole is 59, and this is another world famous spot. It's called Patty Gribbins. Apparently some notable famous Irishman fished here forever and ever and ever, and he got the spot named after him. I don't know exactly the historical reason why, but this is a very cool spot to fish because, well, first of all, technically, I don't think it's, I'm pretty sure it's not legal to go on that, but people do. I'm not recommending anything, but you can see gates there. They're always closed, but at nighttime they circumnavigate them and they just walk along here. But what makes this a very interesting, really famous spot to fish is the inflow and outflow to that power plant to cool the generators. And the one you want to be interested in is the outflow, because that's going to be warmer water than the surrounding water that's in the canal. Any power plant will have that. So it's up to you to figure out which one. It's not rocket science. Whichever one the current is flowing out, that's your outflow. And it's going to attract bait fish, and fish are going to normally gravitate towards that in the colder months. Extremely popular spot here. Patty Gribbins. Even the fish know. If you see, there's hundreds of cormorants all through here, and seagulls. They know where the meat is. See, this is pole 45 and 44. Inflow, outflow. One of these is inflow and one is outflow. There's other ones down that way too. See, that wind is howling. So, last but not least, pole 50, and this is the infamous iconic power plant. And it's as famous as the Sagamore and the Bourne Bridge and the Railroad Bridge. It's as iconic as that. This is like a huge landmark on the canal. Once again, point, see? You got this cove. Anywhere where those points, they're killer spots, and that's where that's why it's an iconic fishing spot. So that will be this week, 4 spot checks, and I hope you enjoyed this sesh. And on this blustery day, it's going to be falling about, I think today or tomorrow, whatever the 20th is. I don't even know what date it is. I think it's today. But it's a lot of fun bringing it to you. Please like and subscribe as usual. Thanks for coming along. Come on down here to Fish Idea. And I hope you're gaining insight on the canal and how to fish it through this series. You can go back till the beginning of the summer when I started it, and each and every episode has Spotchecks on it. That's them. So I'm trying to make it easier for visitors and people that want to get to know the mysterious canal. It's not that mysterious, and it's probably one of the best fishing spots on the East Coast. Actually, if you watch the show, you'll see. So thanks once again for tuning in, and thanks for coming along. Get down here and fish. If not, come with me every week. And as usual, please say your prayers. And we'll see you next week, guys. Thank you. Stunningly gorgeous birds working. What more could a surf fisherman want? So, Sandwich Marina. These are honest to gosh yachts. The Not Easy, the Pomanock, and the Fat Bottom Girl.